So, what is my story with my MS? Well, it started in 2000. Yay! Okay, so I was born in 1974, went to high school and graduated in 92, graduated college in 97, 2000, my hand went like numb, like it falls asleep, but it never woke up. And so I was having problems at work, went to my doctor, went to a neurologist, and they were like, oh, you have carpal tunnel. Okay. So then they put you on anti-inflammatory. Did that for a week, had to go back after a week. Nothing happened, still have the problem. Put you on a different one, went back after a week. Um, yeah, still had the problem, nothing happened. Tried another anti-inflammatory, went back. And at this time, you're just starting out. So the $20 for the medicine, the $20 for the copay, every week. So now that's $40 a week, $40 a week, $40 a week. Okay, like now I'm getting to spend more money because back in 2000 that was a lot more money than it is now. And so then they finally were like, "Oh, try this anti-inflammatory, but it's not covered by insurance." And I thought, "Why would I try another one if the first three didn't even do anything? And you want me to spend $60 on this one? Like, no, that doesn't make sense." So I kind of just gave up on the whole thing. That's how I kind of saw doctors back then. Like, you give them a try, you give them a try, but dude, after a while, you just kind of, okay, give up. It kind of went away, but I also kind of got used to it. And I was getting married in 2000 at the same time. So I got married on my honeymoon, felt something weird, but couldn't figure what it was. Then after that, like 6 months afterwards, I ended up getting drop foot, and it was the weirdest thing because everyone's like, "What's wrong with you?" I'm like, "I don't know." I mean, I could walk, but it was like clunk 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 clunk. And so finally went back to the doctors. Finally, my doctor was like, "Sounds like you have MS." I'm like, "Where were you last year?" But anyways, okay. So now went to a new neurologist, and uh, uh, so you just have to be really lucky with doctors, and that's just for everything. And if you don't find one that you like the first time, keep trying, don't give up. Because when I went to him, he was like, "Okay, sounds like it. We're going to order you a back MRI." Okay, when you have MS, the first thing that they should order is a brain MRI. Nowadays, they can do brain and back at the same time. Now, I had to go in and do the back one, and then I had to go back and do a brain one, and both of them were inconclusive. Back in 2000, they took forever. The MRIs were like 1 hour for each one, and then they finally were like, "Okay, we'll do the spinal." Did the spinal tap. Now it's finally confirmed I have MS. Okay, yay, because I finally found out what was wrong with me. Because if you like know something's happening, you know something's weird, you don't know what it is. So finally, they kind of put a label on it, which is good, but then it was like, ew, boo, I don't want that. Because back in 2000, basically, you were also told, well, you kind of have like 10 years before you become in a wheelchair. And then 10 years after that, you're basically bedbound. So they put you on Bedaseron. But at the exact same time, we were thinking about getting pregnant. So I really didn't try that one for very long because they don't want you on a medicine at least like 6 months before. Well, yeah, before, because they don't know what it's going to do to your child. Yay, another thing, like you're like, this is awesome. So we went to a genetic counselor, which was great because they did tell us it wasn't hereditary. Because if it was, I definitely did not want to give this to my child. So then I was like, okay. So then we decided to try to get pregnant. Um, got pregnant, went into complete remission. This is perfect. But as soon as you have your kid, they want you to get on a medicine right away. And I wanted to breastfeed. And so I breastfed as long as I could. But after 3 months, I had an episode. And I got on my medicine. So I at the time, so we're in about 2002, and there was still only four medicines out back then. Betaseron, which they put me on, which was an injection every other day. Avonex, which I didn't try. It's an intramuscular. It was once a week, which was tempting, but intramuscular. Ugh. And then I did the Rebif and I think Copaxone. So on the Betaseron, they also tell you like you find out what the symptoms are going to be for MS, like the fatigue comes on in the walking, and you really don't understand the notion of fatigue, especially for me. I'm also a math kind of science head, but not really a English person, so my vocabulary isn't the best. And to me, fatigue meant the same as tired, exhausted, which I later find out it really isn't the same. There is differences. So when I was on Betaseron, I got really, really tired, and I thought, oh, great, this is the disease. Now I am exhausted all the time, and I had a daughter, which it worked out because she would take naps, and I would just take naps with her. And then I went to work, and for some reason I did okay, and I don't remember because I was off of it. So I might have been because when I did get like when I missed a dose or two because of insurance, I felt fantastic. And I really was like, why am I taking a medicine that's supposed to help prevent me if it's making me feel worse? Like, I didn't want to exercise. You're just tired. And you're supposed to do, exercise and, now I have a baby and I'm just as tired. So when I got off of it, I'm like, I feel fantastic. And I kind of refused to get back on a medicine. I did try Rebif, and Rebif is the pH levels on it was different. So the pH levels and then your pH levels when you inject yourself at that time, oh, that shit hurt. So I was like, yeah, I'm good. I'm not doing Rebif. And so I kind of stayed off, but then I knew I needed to try something else. Luckily for me, Tisabri came in the picture when I went back. Now, also, I did change my neurologist. I've changed because that guy that did all the brain MRIs and finally figured it out, I asked him for a handicap placard because when you have the disease, it's an invisible disease, which I later found out because I used to criticize people all the time that would park in handicaps and then walk. It's like, why are you in there? Now I know it's because it's hard to like walk like a whole parking lot, because by the time you do that and then get in the store and have to walk around and then have to walk all the way back, oh, it is just exhausting, and sometimes you just can't do it. So if you're closer, it does make it easier. So now I understand that. So I asked him for that, and his response was, why? You need the exercise. And I thought, wow, you're a doctor that should know this isn't the time to get the exercise. This is nothing to do with that. So I changed from him to another one. Now I am on to Sabri. Back then, also, you can only be on to Sabri for 2 years, which kind of is like, okay, freaky, because they didn't really know what was going to do after 2 years. So I tried that. I did realize I was getting worse. Talked to my new neurologist. He's like, well, it's about, you're at like 18 months anyways. We're going to need to start taking you off of this one anyways. So then at the time, we decided to try Copaxone, I believe. And now here's the thing. I'm 51, and so memory issues are already kind of an issue. And 25 years is also an issue. I mean, that's just a long time to try to remember exactly everything that happened. And having MS supposedly messes with your memory also. And the medicine can also really mess with your memory. So, bear with me. So I believe I went on Copaxone, and I did pretty good on that one. That one seemed to actually kind of work for me. And back then, it was an injection, once again, every other day. It's not a big deal, kind of used to it. But then I did once again have insurance issues that made me miss a week or two of the Copaxone. So I declined in there. When I tried going back to it, it was at the exact same time basically that they changed the Copaxone from an injection every day to 3 times a week, or yeah, 3 times a week. So that would have been nice. But when I tried to get back on there, it just stayed the same. And at the same time, Aubagio was coming out, and I was really excited to try a pill for the disease because so much easier than injecting yourself. So I went on Aubagio. I was on that for a couple years, and for me also, I think with my body, it worked pretty well for me for about a year, a little bit more, and then it feels like my body gets used to it and then readjusts. So then I'm like, I don't think it's working anymore. So went on Aubagio, loved it, and at this same time I'm doing my decline. So I'm thinking this is really where my relapsing remitting is starting to become secondary. I just started gradually like decline. I would have episodes that would make me really decline, and then I would kind of bounce back a little bit. But I never went back to where I was at. I was always further behind, usually. So from like 100, I would go to like 90. Then I would go back up to like 98. I would never go back up to 100. Then I would go down to like 85. Then I would go back to like 90. And those become my norm, is what I would call it. And then you just have to adjust, which sucked at each point. So now I'm on Aubagio, and they decided, I'm secondary, and there was really no medicines for secondary. But then Ocrevus came out. So I tried that one, which was kind of awesome because it was an infusion twice a year, every 6 months. Great, awesome. So I started trying to do that one. I also didn't really realize how bad I was doing, and thinking, well, there really isn't much else out there, that I did it for 5 years and just declined. So finally I was like, look, it's just not working. And the new drug that just came out, Kesimpta, and that's also now supposedly for relapsing remitting, but also for secondary. So now I'm on that one. I've been on that one for a year. And once again, I'm like not super declining, but not getting any better, or not staying even, I'm kind of staying at the same level. So those are the drugs that I have attempted to try. Waiting for more secondary to come out. That would be amazing. Did also start really researching a little bit more, and there's other alternative medicines out there that I'm attempting to try to see what will help. Well, maybe not alternative medicines, but also just different ways and lifestyles like nutrition. And so I am attempting to try to do that. So that is my drug history on multiple sclerosis.